So welcome back at our series or an exploration on the runes or rune lore or the rune staves, and of course also eventually rune readings, which is of course coming from our Norse and Germanic mythology. So in this video let's explore the whole concepts of the sacrifice of Odin and Odin gifts, because Odin, the god Odin, the Norse gods, the king of Asgard, the king of the gods of the ice here, explored and discovered the runes, and how he has discovered that is what of course we will explore further in this video. Now, why this is so fascinating, because I strongly believe that within mythology, the myth that has been created, the stories that has been created, has a very beautiful and profound shamanic meaning behind it, and deep spiritual meaning behind it. Like, yeah, when you listen to mythology and the creatures and the gods and deities, you think it's like the Lord of the Rings, but basically the Lord of the Rings originates from Norse mythology, because everything you currently see within this series, it has been inspired by the Norse mythology. But also think about video games like God of War. Even within these games you had the opportunity to travel throughout the different realms and walk on the world tree or the Yggdrasil, which is absolutely beautiful when you see this coming back into games as well.
Those roots don't look like your magic.
They aren't. These roots are part of the Great World Tree and make travel between the realms possible. Approach the table.
How does it work?
You will need this, a Bifrost, to create travel between realms. It can capture, hold, and transfer the light of Alfheim. Place the Bifrost there.
What now?
Give it a moment. The temple needs time to wake up from its long slumber. It is from this room, and this room alone, that you will be able to cross between realms. What you see before you represents the temple in which we stand, as well as the realm towers that encircle the Lake of Nine outside. All the realms exist in the same physical space, reflections of each other. These doors, the towers outside, and the 9 realms are all intertwined and coexisting on the branches of the World Tree, separated only by the Bifrost light of Alfheim. This place can focus and control that light.
And is this the World Tree?
Only an artistic representation of it. No, the Yggdrasil is much, much more than this. The Tree of Life is bound to the fate of the world, just as we are bound to it. The tree nourishes our soils. The dew from its leaves feeds our valleys and rivers. The tree's very existence supports all of creation along its boughs. Its life energy interwoven into the tapestry of life. Birth, growth, death, and rebirth. Every strand transcending time, transcending space. Everything comes back to the tree. So, that's how it works. But I'm guessing you were looking for a more practical answer.
Yes.
But I strongly believe it represents ancient knowledge and wisdom that can be definitely implemented back again through this new revival of knowledge and wisdom that we can implement and integrate as well within our daily life, of trying to navigate or counsel higher wisdom that of course we can use in modern day challenges. So with no further ado, let's go and dive straight in, and let's explore the sacrifice of Odin, or the gift of Odin. So who was Odin? Odin was of course the All-Father, the king of the gods of Asgard, of the ice here. It was the god or the magician, the wanderer of wisdom and knowledge, who were seeking out prophecy. You could identify with the shamanic archetype, but also of course of a more sinister who also wanted to have all the Viking warriors, when the Viking warriors passed in battle, died in battle, he wanted to have the souls of these Viking warriors to collect them into preparing them for Ragnarok. So it's also very related to death and rebirth, and also of course how he has sacrificed himself for the pursuit of knowledge and wisdom. And that really comes down to the mythical story of the world tree, the Yggdrasil in Norse mythology. Within the Yggdrasil, actually I made a shamanic journey as well in one of my latest videos, where we actually explored this whole concept of diving within our subconscious mind to travel throughout these different realms. Now, the world tree, you could actually see it is part of a cosmic web of our cosmology, but the world tree, if you look to our own nervous system, it also of course has a lot of branches and it has the shape of the tree. So that's why we can also explore these different realms within our own psyche. So within the Yggdrasil we had 9 different worlds. The top of the world was the world of the gods of the ice here, Asgard. And then we also have the world of the fertility gods, the Vanir, that were home of the Vanaheim. And actually just below Asgard we also had the world of the elves, which was called Jotunheim. And then we also had Muspelheim, which was the realm of raging fire. And then of course in the middle we had like Midgard or middle world. Think about once again Lord of the Rings. That is basically our earth plane, the world of the humans who are dwelling around in this realm. To the left we have Niflheim, which is the realm of ice, snow and fog. Then to the right we have Jotunheim, which is the land of the rock and the giants. Then below Midgard we have the realm of the dwarfs, which was called Svartalfheim, if I pronounce it correctly. I'm not so good in my Norse. And then all the way to the bottom we have the realm of Hell with one L, which is the realm of the goddess Hela. Within the Yggdrasil we have the well of Mimir, and the well of Mimir represents the infinite source of our subconscious mind, and if you would drink from it you would gain access to higher wisdom and consciousness. And the whole quest of Odin was basically to travel down to the well of Mimir, but Mimir only gave him access to drink from this well if he would sacrifice his eye, his left eye, because Mimir wanted to have a piece of the gods. And this sacrifice was not only that, but also he took a branch from the tree, which was a spear, and this spear is basically how he injured himself and hang himself upside down the tree for 9 days and 9 nights. So the number 9, which you can also see in numerology, the last number in numerology is basically the number of Odin, the last number that is on this quest for knowledge and wisdom. And through these 9 days and 9 nights he was able to discover the 24 Elder Futhardt runes, and the runes represents basically the building blocks of our cosmology. And these building blocks, they are there for divination, to basically speak directly with the gods, with the higher realms and the spirit guides. And it was his purpose to bring the gift of the runes to the people of Midgard for those who are willing to learn them. So the tools of divination gave us access. It's working as an oracle, and it gives us access to the web of weird, which I also explained in my previous introduction video, which is basically the web of life. In New Age spirituality, they also like to call it the Akashic Records, which is like an infinite library, a cosmic library of all our thoughts and emotions that are stored there. You could also see it as the Book of Life. You can see it in the background, basically, where the Book of Life, a major book, holds a castle, and within this castle could represent that every room, every dungeon, every suite within this castle could represent a different lifetime, perhaps. And then you see basically a part of the waterfall, which also could represent coming down from this ancient tree, which also could represent the waterfall towards the well of Mimir. And if you would drink that, it will be, of course, a gift towards the exploration within the subconscious mind. So the runes can be used for divination to access so-called synchronicities that are stored within the web of weird. So it's basically like a psychic insight, and that's basically all what it represents, this whole story rooted in mythology, because it represents death and rebirth. So also within shamanism there's a rite of passage, there's like an initiation where part of our identity, of our ego, is dying, of everything that we thought about ourselves, of who we think we are. Like part of that could be dying when our external vision to the construct of our external matrix, because the matrix we live in is of course a construct of our beliefs that has been passed over from generation to generation. So the matrix we live in is nothing more than our own projection of reality. But now we live in a time when the veil to look further and beyond this construct of our matrix, which is the projection coming in through our subconscious mind, that is telling us, giving us the idea that this is what life is all about, this is what life is. Now we can look further and beyond that veil, and gives us more insights and intuition to the different realms, the different states of consciousness that is basically stored within us. So it could be used to gain access of ancestral knowledge and wisdom, but it could also tell us of where we are right now and where we might be going if we hold on to specific kind of patterns that we are holding on to right now. So also the quest of Odin, the opening of the insight or the third eye of insight and intuition gave him access to look beyond our time-space reality, beyond our linear timeline, is where time and space is basically collapsing, and where past, present and future, it becomes all in one. So we can see beyond the veil and see how our ancestral past or previous lifetime is currently influencing our current lifetime, for example. And through the runes, as they are serving like an oracle for guidance and insights, we could see something of what is currently happening within our own energy field, and how we could of course anticipate on that. So this is part of the Odin gift, Odin quest or sacrifice, which really represents the shamanic initiation, the rite of passage to look beyond the veil and into the web of weird, or the web of life, where vibrational frequencies can be read through using the divination tools. This can be happening when we are diving further into these readings. I have already done quite a few readings so far with people, and most people, they were basically more interested in how things are working out in their relationships. please remember that when we want to know something about relationship is that 80-90% of the relationship that we attract, most of them is transactional and can be karmic as well, of how we are triggered towards each other, because that's how attraction works. And sometimes we wonder when someone is falling away, when we are repelling someone, and that of course has to do with our own energy field as well, with our own karmic imprints and our thought forms and our soul's journey. And that could represent why we are attracting someone in our life, or when we are repelling someone, when someone is not really for us. So that is once again really depends on our own soul journey, and sometimes we need to hear things we don't really want to know, and that is also part of the runes, as well as they are non-biased and they can read exactly what it is that you need to know and not always what you want to hear. So that's really what I found is very, very beautiful and very, very powerful about it. So no sugarcoating there. Anyway, this is the end of this video on the introduction and the journey into rune lore, the Odin gift and the Odin sacrifice. In the next videos we go further into, of course, Norse mythology, Germanic mythology, and how it all relates to the runes and the shamanic meaning and initiation to that as well. So if this of course has your interest, you know what you gotta do. Subscribe, hit the bell notification, like, or leave your thoughts down below. Alright, see you all in my next videos. Take care for now.